So we're here at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. In a couple of hours, about 200 French Jews are going to be taking a one-way flight to Israel. So we're here to find out why they're leaving France. Tell me about your decision to move to Israel.
Il y a plusieurs raisons. Déjà, ça faisait longtemps qu'on le voulait pour les enfants. On sent une montée comme ça des gens qui sont de plus en plus... ils observent, on se regarde, le fait de porter la kippa. Je suis français, je suis juif, qu'est-ce que je fais, où est-ce que je me situe? Là-bas, ils seront juifs, pleins et entiers.
Last year, immigration to Israel reached its highest level in over a decade. 30,000 people made the leap, a record 8,000 of them from France.
We have something like 50 to 200 persons each day. It's the biggest summer in the story of Jew Aliyah for France. Most of them, they are family with children, because for them, most important thing is to take the children in the place that will be true for them.
Many of the flights bringing Europeans to Tel Aviv are organized by the Jewish Agency for Israel, which runs joint programs with the Israeli government.
We're just walking into the welcome ceremony for the 200 people who have arrived.
Jewish people who make Aliyah, the Hebrew term for immigration to Israel, get a free one-way flight to Tel Aviv and then a load of other handouts from the Israeli government. Temporary housing, monthly cash payments, and mortgage breaks.
Bienvenue à tous en Israël. Dans quelques minutes, vous deviendrez officiellement des citoyens israéliens. Et vous allez agrandir la nation d'Israël.
This is made possible by Israel's law of return, which gives anyone with a Jewish grandparent the right to full Israeli citizenship.
אירופה יהודים רק בגלל היותם יהודים. אנחנו נערכים לקליטת עלייה המונית מאירופה. אנחנו קוראים לקליטת עלייה המונית מאירופה.
But critics argue that Israel's taking advantage of fear in Europe by encouraging Jewish people to leave their homes. Aliyah is not new. For decades, the Jewish Agency for Israel has been promoting and facilitating it, often in response to global crises. We wanted to investigate these claims of an exodus and Israel's role in the movement. So we went to Ashdod to meet Jewish Agency Chairman Natan Sharansky.
There are a lot of reports now claiming that there's going to be some sort of exodus of Jewish people, and so I guess I'm trying to figure out what's true, what's not.
It is happening. More than 2,000 people came in these last 3 weeks, and the speed keeps growing. We this year will have more than 30,000 new immigrants who come to Israel. It's the record of the last 12 years.
Can you understand why that, in a way, seems sort of crazy from an outside perspective, to leave a place like Paris because it's unsafe and then to move to Israel?
France has great laws against anti-Semitism. But it's not about laws and it's not about physical protection. Right. It's about whether you can feel yourself comfortable, secure at home. And they find out that they feel by themselves much more at home when they come to Israel.
We joined Sharansky on a visit to what's called an absorption center, one of many across the country where new immigrants can live and study Hebrew for their first 6 months in Israel.
We're just heading into a Hebrew class.
Why do you come from St. Petersburg or from Moscow here when there are all these situations and feel that here it is more secure?
In Russia, we don't have this government to protect us. Everyone solves their problem by themselves, and here it's not like that. Even here it's milchama or war, whatever. Everyone is under protection. You've got a shelter. You've got an army person who will protect you and save you from the very acute situation.
Here can still be somewhere else. A place where the script is still unwritten. A land of milk and honey.
The Israeli government knows it has to work hard to attract foreigners and is constantly investing in recruitment. Ads like this focus on the sun and beaches of Tel Aviv and look past darker news events in the rest of the country. $400 million a year.
coming from global Jewish foundations, charities, evangelical Christians who support Israel, and corporations like IKEA.
And look your future in the eye.
We went to the headquarters of the Jewish Agency in Jerusalem to learn about its plans for the Jewish people of Europe.
These are historical from different stages of Israeli history. Our Zionist propaganda, how it was.
Is the Jewish Agency, is the Israeli government actively planning to relocate, say, hundreds of thousands of Jewish people from Europe? Are there plans in place?
At this moment, we are discussing plans for the next 50,000 French Jews moving to Israel, what can easily happen in the next 5 or maybe even 3 years.
What's going on in Europe that you think is pushing people to Israel?
The new anti-Semitism of the new population of Europe is very strong, and sometimes it goes to the extremes with terror activity.
What do you mean when you talk about a new anti-Semitism?
Well, new anti-Semitism is anti-Semitism which was brought with millions of new citizens of Europe who came from the Middle East.
Muslim citizens.
Well, Muslims, I try to be politically correct, and of course, overwhelming majority of Muslims are loyal citizens, but anti-Semitic prejudices are very strong. I believe maybe this century will be the last century when Jews live in Europe, and the Jews lived in Europe for more than 2,000 years.
Critics would say that maybe some of your predictions about the 21st century and Jews leaving Europe are exaggerated.
I hope that I'm wrong. And I'm saying that it can be the last century. I say it as a tragedy, not as a triumph. If they have to leave Europe, I want them to come to Israel.
Community center full of signs and posters for the Jewish Agency. One of them here, which is interesting, it says towns that are waiting for you in Israel, and it's got a bunch marked on the map, including a number of spots in the West Bank in the occupied Palestinian territory.
Подскажите, пожалуйста, для себя, для понимания, в свете всего, что творится вокруг Израиля сейчас, Сирия, Египет, Ливан, как это сказывается вообще на эмоциональной жизни израильтян? Ибо вокруг сейчас много бушует.
Террористические покушения, которые, конечно, не сравнить с тем террором, который был 12 лет назад, когда взрывались люди в автобусах. И с тем террором покончили, и мы разрушили все центры.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо вам. Всего доброго. Do you worry about creating Jewish Agency posters that do show housing opportunities in the West Bank, given that much of the world believes those settlements are illegal?
We don't do anything to convince him or her to go to Western Bank instead of Tel Aviv or instead of Netanya.
But what do you think about it?
I don't think that it is wise, and it's right for us to decide already now where will be the final borders between Israel and Palestinian state.
The housing minister in Israel has said before that he actually thinks, say, French Jews, that European Jews should move to the settlements to maintain their Jewish populations. Would you agree with that?
No, I am absolutely against any connection between Aliyah and Palestine.
We combed through Israeli government statistics and found that the proportion of new immigrants who end up in the West Bank is around 4%. But numbers are growing slowly year by year. We wanted to meet some of the new immigrants moving beyond the Green Line to the disputed territories that were occupied by Israel in 1967 and are known by Israelis as Judea and Samaria. In the settlement of Pedwell, we met up with a family that had just arrived from southern France.
All the family is French here.
All of them?
All family. On the road. It's the road of Ole Hadash here.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
The Champs-Élysées there.
The Champs-Élysées. How many people live in this area?
It's 3,000. Bye, Leitra. Tu lui as dit pour vendredi?
Oui, oui, oui.
Ah, ok.
How did you hear about Pedwell when you were in France?
On n'a jamais entendu parler de Pedwell jusqu'à ce qu'on nous propose la ville. On nous en a parlé avec ce qu'on appelle l'Alia de groupe. C'est une organisation.
On va les faire, les tickets.
So had you always planned to move to Israel? Was it always something you thought about?
Ça a été vraiment les événements qui ont fait en France. Après, je pensais pas partir aussi jeune. Je pensais faire ma vie en France et venir à la retraite.
On se sent plus en sécurité parce qu'il y a l'armée qui est tout autour. C'est sécurisé parce qu'il y a des barrières, alors que dans les villes comme Haïfa, Netanya, Jérusalem, ce sont des villes où l'insécurité est peut-être plus importante parce qu'ils côtoient plus de Palestiniens et d'Arabes. Donc peut-être que.
And here there are no Arab neighborhoods nearby. A lot of the world thinks these settlements are illegal and that they shouldn't exist.
On part du principe où on a le droit d'exister, on a le droit d'être là, comme eux ont le droit d'être là.
Do you think you'll live in Israel forever?
C'est le but.
C'est le but. Ouais.